Now something about functions. Something about what? Functions, right? So far, so JS says that now I'm going to use let instead of where. You need to understand I'm talking about scoping. If I'm using let, I'm talking about what? Scoping. Let, what you can say, calculate the tax is equals to. So we can write the function, right? Like this function. I can create one anonymous function over here, and which can calculate the tax. Say return some input, say num1, and what you can say num2, right? Say num1 into num2, likewise anything, num1 into num2. So I have created one anonymous function, and that is going to be assigned to the variable tax. So we created one anonymous function, let tax is equals to, what you can say, function, which would be returning, function would be having two parameters, right? And here it is returning just multiplication of the two numbers. So I can call tax, and here I can say 10 and the 20, likewise. JavaScript is a functional programming language. Now, what do you mean by functional? You can assign the function, you can return the function, you can pass the functions to the method, from the method to the variable. You can assign the functions to the variables. You can pass the functions as a parameters, right? You can pass the function as a parameters, and you can return the functions from the functions. So returning the functions from the functions, functions inside the functions, will lead to one concept of closure that are called as closures, right? So JavaScript is a functional. Now why functional, right? Functions can be assigned to the variables. Functions can be passed as a parameter to the another functions. Functions can return the functions, right? So here I can say function and params here, and it would be having one variable. You can say salary calculation, one variable, and likewise this. And salcalc can be, so this is your one numeric parameter. You can say num1 would be some number, and this would be salcalc would be one function. I can salcalc call the function over here. Remember that you can assign the functions to the variables. You can pass. Now let me call this params, right? Let me call this params, and to the params, right, I can pass 1 to 3 as first number, and second number I can pass, right, I can pass one anonymous function over here. Likewise this, say function, and like this. So here I have passed one function. JavaScript is a functional programming language. Why? Three things are here. Variable, to the variable you can pass the function. To the variable you can assign the function. To the method parameter that can be function, right? So this you will get to know at the time of callbacks. At the time of error handling, we might be using this thing, right? And now function can return the function. Function can return, say funct. So this would be the function name, which can return another function, which can return another function. So this can return another function. So here, now see. So what this is going to return? This is going to return one function. This is going to return what? One function. So if I want to, and this function, internal function, is going to return one number or one string, say xyz, and see what I am doing over here. Now let, what you can say, ft, function return, is equals to funret, right? So if you assign, or if you do only this much, you are assigning function to the variable. So if you want to get value of, remember that this, right? Remember that this would be nothing but this. You are just assigning reference of the function. That is also possible. That is also possible. Right? Now what we'll do is that, let us log it. So for the better understanding, what we'll do, we'll log it. So console.log, right? And here I can say ft is, just I am going to say ft. What would be the expected output? Expected output, you should see this full function, right? You should see full function in the logs. Let us see. Now I'll go over here and just say node and new.js. Can you see? You are getting full function. You are getting what? Full function. Why? Because you just have passed the reference of the function. This is the reference of the function, and this would be the actual call to the function. Reference and the call. Now let me call node.js. See new.js. Can you see? You can see only this function. What is that? So this function call is nothing but this function call, which is returning the function. Now if you want to get the value xyz, this function, so see, this is nothing but the function. Return type of this function is itself a function. Return type, whenever you are going to call this, it is going to return. Clearly you can see in the node, right? Clearly you can see the function xyz. Now I want to get the value. So if you want to get the value, just call the function once again, because whatever returned, that is the function. See now, xyz. Function returning the function. Function, this is the function which is returning the function. JavaScript is a typical functional programming language. Function, this much is going to return what? Function. That function you have assigned to the ft, and if you want to get return type of that function, you are just going to call ft like this. Is that fine? What I mean to say? Right. So next things I will cover in the next tutorial.